So we finally got the frame back from paint. Actually, it was pretty quick. It only took a couple of days. So here we have the frame that's been linexed. Very pretty. And here I've already started to assemble the front control arms, but over here we have our big pile of painted parts here. So as you can see, we have the calipers, the springs, and all the steering components painted in body color. That's what the body is going to be. It's like a battleship gray. So this here is the right front spindle. So what we're going to do first is we're going to clean out the holes for the ball joints that got a little bit of paint in there with some emery cloth. And what I got here is a little trick that I was shown many years ago. You take a cotter pin, a little bit of emery cloth, and stick it through, put it in your drill. Beautiful. Now we can take this over to the frame. Okay. So this bad boy is gonna sit right in there, like so. Yeah, that's a bit of an issue. Usually when you're putting these together, the vehicle is heavy enough that you can put a floor jack under here and squeeze the spring up a bit and then get it to pop in, but this thing weighs nothing. Maybe I'll have to use, might have to use like a ratchet strap or something. That's really tight. We're not quite there. Okay, so we got the spindle installed finally. It's a lot more difficult to put one of these on with no weight on the frame than I thought. So okay, so what we have here is a brand new rotor and hub assembly. It's all one. So the only thing we have to reuse, we're going to replace the bearings, the seal, and these shitty caps. The only thing we need to reuse is the washer and the nut. So this new hub came with new races, so we don't need to worry about using that extra parts. The old manual pack grease method here. And keep one hand dry. So we take a good blob of grease in our hand like that. Now you take your bearing and you just grab a little bit and squeeze it through. A little bit and squeeze it through. So when you see the grease coming through the top of the bearing, like right up there, that's how you know you have enough grease in there. So you just keep going around in a circle until all the bearing is putting a little bit of grease through the top like that. So now the inside and the outside are nicely coated. Okay, a little bit of grease on the seal, and voila, we're ready for install. Okay, now put this on nice and straight. Make sure it goes on all the way. Now we hold the top straight. Take some grease off of our bearing here. Give the outer race just a little coating. Oh, like a glove. Washer in, nut in. So now, as I'm snugging this up to snug, I'm turning the rotor at the same time, just kind of making sure that everything tightens up nice and square. It's very important you don't put this wheel nut too tight, because if it's too tight, then the grease will not be able to go between the roller and the bearing, and it'll literally just melt the bearing. If you want to do another check to make sure it's good, you can give it a little wiggle this way. And if you feel any movement at all, it's too loose. Now, whenever you're putting brake pads together, there's one rule of thumb, okay? Obviously, you want to make sure you got the inners and the outers in the right spot. But when it comes to squealer tabs, I see this so often. People have no idea where to put the squealer tab. The rule of thumb on every single disc brake system out there, you may have more than one squealer tab in multiple spots, but you need to have at least one squealer tab on the inside pad on the leading edge. What that means is if the vehicle moving forward, the wheel's turning this way, the leading edge is back here, moving into the brake pad this way. If this is the inner pad facing this way, the leading edge hits the squealer tab. That's what you want. So this is the pad I want for this side, not this one. This is the other side. Remember that. Okay, we're going to use Never Seez to lubricate the pins. Now, some people will say, oh, you shouldn't use Never Seez on disc brakes. Well, I'm here to tell you, I've been using Never Seez on disc brakes for 23 years, and I've never, ever had a problem. The only time you may run into a problem with Never Seez is if you're working on like high performance and they're getting like really, really hot, like your brakes are glowing red on a regular basis. Then you might have a problem using Never Seez, but otherwise, it works just fine. Looking good. That concludes the Chevy update today. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you hit the subscribe and share with all your friends, and we need all the viewers we can get. So do good things, be a good human, and as always, be the solution.